like, and share. We intend to have very, very educated conversations in Nigeria's political landscape. So if you're just joining me for the very first time, we get to update ourselves on issues across the politics. First of all, the APC are building a movement to secure bloc votes from the South and North Central regions for the president ahead of the 2027 general elections. Obviously, despite the economic quagmire, the new tax policy reform that would commence by the 1st of January 2026, well, politics is still the fulcrum, is still the focal point. Now, there are fears about the tax. They're saying the deductions of people's monies from their accounts, whether they like it or not, is they feel is going to be going into the personal accounts of those politicians. They feel that those politicians would deliberately utilize this monies for themselves. And I think the tax team needs to come up and educate and orientate Nigerians on what this means, how it will be utilized, the transparency, how will Nigerians track how the money is taken from their account, how will they track it, and to know how the money will be used. They really need to come out clean in regards to that. But anyways, now apparently what is currently going on, the Northern Elders Forum and Arewa Consultative Forum, they have expressed displeasure with Tinubu's administration, declaring that they might not support him for a second term. The groups at different times have accused Tinubu of marginalizing the region in political appointments, project distribution, and efforts to tackle insecurity. Similarly, political figures such as former Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Al-Rufai, former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, former APC National Vice Chairman, Northwest Salihu Lukman, and other loyalists of the late President Muhammadu Buhari have been mobilizing Northerners against the president. However, insiders at the APC Secretariat who spoke recently with correspondents said the move to secure South and North Central vote for Tinubu was conceived after intelligence reports indicated potential political threats from the core North and the emergence of the African Democratic Party-led coalition of opposition leaders. Also, a party chieftain named the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, Chairman of the APC Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, National Secretary of the APC, Ajibola Bashiru, and the lawmaker representing Ikeja Federal Constituency, James Faleke, as the brains behind the plan. In the same vein, APC officials who spoke on condition of anonymity said the ruling party's game plan was designed to ensure that all the states in the South are secured for Tinubu for in 2027. We're not surprised. We already saw all of that. The source attributed the recent defections of PDP governors in the South to the materialization of the countermeasure, saying everything was in place for the APC to win the region. The official said the motive behind the move is that no opposition should win any state in the South to guard against what they experienced in 2023. The team has successfully delivered the South to the president. There is nothing stopping them from winning all the southern candidates except for Abia and Oyo. All other states in the South are now with the APC. The governor of Osun State declared support for Ashiwaju, the president, and was willing to join the APC. Once we secure the targeted bloc votes in the South, we are 50% down the victory line. Another senior APC official said the party had, over the past few months, made strategic moves to reclaim the North Central states it had lost ahead of the 2027 presidential election. It's not surprising, actually, with what the political trajectory, if you've been monitoring the political space, that since the core North had actually always boasted that they were the ones that presented the core votes for Tinubu to win the elections in 2023, that they need to do a countermeasure of ensuring that the North will not hold them by the jugular anymore. So if the president secures all the southern states, he doesn't necessarily need so many northern states to win the elections. So right now he has almost all the southern states. Well, politically, if you look at the governors defecting to the APC, so in the North, Tinubu just needs like maybe Kaduna, Bauchi, and Sokoto, maybe just a few states to secure the win in 2027, including the FCT. So everything is strategic. Nyesom Wike is playing a role. He's the FCT minister. He's to deliver, make sure that the FCT works for him. You saw what happened in Rivers already. Fubara is now in the APC. Bayelsa, Dioyediri, all of them, they're all in the APC. Delta states, almost all the states. Only 2 states are left. So if all the governors have defected, all the southern states are good to go. It's only the northern states that they need to deal with. So what the political calculation is that once you have about maybe 2 or 3 northern states, if you look at the quotient required to win the elections, that is based on the regional calculation, then you would understand vehemently what is at stake here. So once the president is able to secure all the southern states and possibly just 2 or 3 northern states, including the SCT, which is also a capital basis, well, excluding what happened in 2023, then he's good to go. Everybody already knows that's a plan. So they're not really worried if the North doesn't actually hold the fort or open their arms to Tinubu. Already they're expressing displeasure. Now let's come to the coalition as a political party. Yes, the infusion of Peter Obi in the coalition is a major threat for the APC. And that's why a lot of persons have been saying, let the ADC zone the ticket to the south. Let them slug it out. Let the northerners or the northern candidates in the ADC support Peter Obi so that it will be between Peter Obi and Tinubu. But here is where it is. They feel that the Buhari loyalists, they're the ones who are not happy with Tinubu's government. They're the ones who have been complaining about Tinubu's government. That they would prefer a situation where if Atiku is one that runs on that ticket and Peter Obi as vice, in the core north, anybody other than Tinubu, they would take, so long as the person is their person, so long as the person is from their region, they would accept it. That's what we're hearing. So the idea is to supposedly attract those core northerners to Atiku and Peter Obi. And if Atiku is to do 1 term, then in 2031, there'll be an agreement that the ticket will be zoned to the south. Other people believe that a couple of northerners would go for Tinubu because he only has 1 term. He doesn't have to go another term. Because as it is now, if Peter Obi decides to run and Nigerians say, God, you did so well in your first 4 years, we're going to vote for you. And Peter Obi says, no, I made a commitment. I'm only going to do 1 term. I'm not doing anything beyond 1 term. And Nigerians want more. Nigerians want something better. Nigerians say they want him to continue. Would he say he doesn't want to go about it? So it will now seem as if the agreement has been slaughtered or has been mutilated just because 1 or 2 persons are not comfortable with certain arrangements. But as it stands at this particular point in time, the interesting scenario is this. Whether Peter Obi joins the coalition or not, plans are already in place. Atiku is running. Nobody's stopping him from going. He has insisted. And he's also saying that the gentleman agreement is not in the constitution. So if Peter Obi decides to run on another political party other than the ADC, even if he's in the coalition, then there are talks that what happened in 2023 is also going to be the same thing that will happen in 2027. There are also fears that if Tinubu wins in 2027, that what he will do to the Igbos will be beyond what the Igbos are currently experiencing. I really don't know where the projection is coming from, but because of what is currently happening, the followers and the persons within his cabinet using ethnic slurs and ethnic base specifically against the Igbos, it's not surprising that that's what is being looked into. But I don't want to believe that that's a system he's going to apply. As a president, you represent all the regions, and you cannot, just because somebody from a particular region decided to campaign against you, you now decide to mutilate his region or frustrate his region. It is a constitutional right of any Nigerian to vote. It is a constitutional right of anyone, regardless of your region, to vote. So you shouldn't be punished because you had an ambition. And I don't see it as a crime for anyone from any region to come out and declare that they want to vote against the almighty Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a couple of persons see him in the political scenario. No, if you're a respecter of the constitution, you're supposed to encourage anyone to come out and not impede or make sure that you create obstacles for anyone to campaign against you. That is where you appreciate your win. If there is a major competition and you win, you will surely appreciate your win. It's how it works. It's how it goes. All right. Anyways, a coalition of opposition leaders, A coalition of opposition leaders has issued a joint statement raising a major alarm about the alleged politicization of key anti-corruption and security agencies in Nigeria. In a statement signed by David Mark, Atiku Abubakar, Malam Lawal Batawara, Chief Bode George, Peter Obi, Chief John Odige Oyegun, they accuse the APC of using security and anti-graft agencies as tools for the systematic persecution of opposition leaders. The statement emphasizes that state institutions, particularly the EFCC, the Nigerian Police, and the ICPC, are increasingly being deployed for selective justice with the ultimate aim of weakening opposition voices and dismantling the nation's multi-party democracy ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, if you've been following the political space, you already know that Malami is in the EFCC detention. They said that he did not obey bail, he did not meet bail conditions, and then also Chris Ngige as well, although he's not in the ADC in the coalition. Chris Ngige too was not given bail. His bail is meant to be heard tomorrow. His bail is meant to be heard tomorrow. So, in other words, what's at stake at this moment? There are talks that all these cases have been in the cooler for so long. Why is it that all of a sudden they're bringing up the cases now? Why are they resuscitating these cases? Some people say if you know that you want to campaign against the APC and you're considered a threat because you have the money, well, if your hands are not clean, why did you come on board? You don't expect Tinubu to hand it down to you, to hand it over to you. He wouldn't do that. Any means to truncate your effort, he would. So if your cabinet is not clean, how do you expect him to put his eye aside? Obviously, follow the trail, follow the money trail. AGF, former AGF, Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has a lot of money. He's in the ADC. These are the financiers, all right? Chris Ngige is not in the coalition. So anyways, maybe these are the Buhari's faction who did not supposedly support Tinubu, and he knows. Also, that's not the only thing. There are others that are being talked of that will be looked into. Our revised case is also being looked into as well. Now, all of them are presenting a joint statement saying the president is using his executive arm and the fact that he's a president to mutilate opposition voices. Is it wrong that the EFCC is going after criminals? Okay, let's say the EFCC is officially doing their jobs. There are a lot of persons APC who have cases to respond to that the EFCC has not opened their case. There's Yahaya Bello, there's Ifan Yokowa, and a host of others whose cases have not been reviewed. Hajia Sadiq Umar, she was Minister of Humanitarian Affairs during Buhari's administration. She has a lot to answer to. The EFCC had invited her for questioning, and she did not respond to the EFCC's request. She claimed she was sick. According to what we heard, that she's refunding the money gradually. But the thing is, you are supposed to prosecute this lady. That's not the only person. Former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, they haven't considered her. They haven't looked into her case. And not her, rather him. It's a him. Hadi Sirika has questions to answer about Nigeria Air. And the case has just been stalled. They're not appearing in court. These are APC members. Hadi Sirika is an APC member. So what exactly are you selecting the kind of persons that you're reawakening their cases? All those persons are in the APC. Why are you not looking at them? That's the question a lot of persons are asking. So why are you not trying to look at the opposition? And all of a sudden, you now decide to awake their cases from the cooler. Malami has been on since 2015, and since 2023, you decided to reawaken their case now that the political momentum of the political atmosphere is getting charged up. Well, it is not surprising to know, but this is politics. There are no morality in politics. There's no sympathy in politics. There is no empathy in politics. It is brutal. It is barbaric. It's crazy. It's almost primitive. Anything within your arsenal that you want to use to quash your opponent is basically what you use, so long as you want to get power. Power is not served a la carte. Tinubu said that in 2023. Power is not served a la carte. You take it. You take it in any way, either by force, by hook, or by crook. And Tinubu is applying all of that measure. Interesting, isn't it? Well, we do know that very recently in Kwara State, they caught some individuals. They claimed that the weapons they were found with were given to them by the state government. They have patrol vehicles along with those weapons. Those weapons, they used to parade in the evening with those vehicles. They were acting like they were vigilantes with the authorization of the government. Unfortunately, as it stands now, they were recently apprehended, their hands tied behind them. And guess what is interesting? A lot of these things are being divulged. But the question is, who are the persons in the government that gave you guys his arms? Who are the persons in government that gave you guys this patrol vehicle? And some persons are saying that, why are you guys still leaving them on the floor? Why have you not caught them, tied them rope, and dealt with them massively? You guys are literally just being nice. Again, a lot of things are actually taking place. It tells you that insecurity in this country is highly sponsored by the political element, and not just any political element, by those in government. The government are the ones sponsoring insecurity. More is going to be more is going to be divulged. A lot of secrets will be spilled open now that the US has decided to open their eyes and be part and involved in this. Riley Moore recently said he was going to give Donald Trump an executive report, a comprehensive report of his own assessment when he came to Nigeria. So we're going to be hearing a lot of names. We're going to be hearing a lot of things. Also, we heard that a couple of measures are being adopted by the government of the day in terms of tackling insecurity, and then names will be mentioned. We're not talking about past names, we're talking about present names, persons who has been hiding, who we do not know, but they're the ones involved in the endemic insecurity currently plaguing Nigerians across all the regions. But like I said, the president is really going on a tough nail, and the plan is the fact that they want to liquidate the effect the North has in the political space. In other words, if the North decides not to play ball, they will ensure that all the southern states come for the president, vote for him, and he doesn't necessarily need majority of the North to actually campaign or to win the elections in 2027. All the institutions required have already been put in place. So what do you expect? Mr. Tony Mbata, you finally decided to join me. What we're discussing is the fact that, can you help me pick that? What we're discussing is the fact that apparently there's a plan by the president to do something quite, a couple of persons already saw that happening. Anyway, it's already been happening, so it's not like it's a new strategy. So the thing is this, Mr. Tony, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC have decided to come together and plan something. The plan is to ensure that all the southern states, they have it, because there are some people in the north that are not happy with the president. For example, the northern region feels they're being marginalized. They feel that there is uneven appointments in the cabinet of the president, and they also feel that when it comes to project distribution and insecurity, that the attitude of the government in tackling it is very it's nonchalant. They feel it's not effective, and the method through which they want to do that is that the figures such as the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, and others are defected to the ADC is a threat that is considered for the APC. So to them now, insider sources are saying that while they spoke with correspondents, they said the move is to secure all the southern states, including the north central bloc, which is Plateau, Benue. These are the states that they want to secure. But my question is this: will the north central support Tinubu's government with the insecurity currently taking place in their region, the decimation of their people, and the fact that the president wasn't even very active in calling out the melee that was going on in that region up until the Pope decided to speak on it? You remember the 200 persons that were killed in Benue. So how many north central states that do we have? Kwara, Kogi, Benue, Plateau, right?
Nasarawa.
And Nasarawa. These are the north central states, and they've been going through heavy insecurity. So how did they intend to, and this block of persons voted for Peter Obi in 2023, right?
Yes.
Peter Obi got majority votes in Plateau. I think Benue, Nasarawa. These states actually, not Central, Abuja, they went for Peter Obi. So how are they sure that they will get the North Central, even if the governors defect to the APC?
The issue is that APC and the North are not being sincere to Nigerians. Buhari started this. I don't see why the northern state will start complaining about this appointment of a team. When Buhari was doing it, do they complain? The answer is no. Now, Tinubu is doing it to the West, to his people. Why are they complaining?
Tinubu is doing it in favor
of his people.
Okay.
Why they complain? The only people that are suffering this is the southeast and the middle belt. That's the people that are suffering it. Now, the middle belt, you remember that during Nigerian Biafran War, the far north, the Fulanis used the middle belt to fight against the Igbos. Now they are realizing themselves, when they win whatever they want, they call North to now tell them they are not part of us. Now they are realizing. Now, the issue is that Nigeria is built on the trajectory of lies. They deceived one another to achieve what they want. Is Tinubu doing it to favor the southeast and the middle belt? The answer is no. It's for him to win that election that he want. After that, what happened? No. Look at what happened the other time. The wife was taking a chieftaincy title. So you see what really happened, how they spent money and all the rest of them. They are not thinking about a common Nigerian people like you and I, or the southeast or the middle belt. The issue is that Nigeria, are we really one? If we are one, if we want the progress of this country, are we sincere to ourselves? The answer is no. Both the North and Tinubu himself are not being sincere to us.
Interesting. Well, Atiku, Peter Obi and David Mark, they're tackling Tinubu's government. They're saying that Tinubu is using EFCC, police, and ICPC to threaten opposition. I'm sure you heard about Chris Ngige.
Yes.
You've heard about AGF, former AGF, Abubakar Malami. These persons have not were denied bail. Abubakar Malami is in the EFCC detention. According to the EFCC, they said the first time he did not meet bail conditions, and that's why he's been detained. Chris Ngige's case will be heard on Monday. However, Chris is not in the ADC. He is still in APC, but he's the Buhari loyalist. It's obvious that some core members in Buhari's cabinet who are loyalists, who got appointment under Buhari, are not happy with Tinubu. That's the conversation we're hearing right now. So as it stands, certain, Loretta Onoche, she has been calling out Tinubu. Chris Ngige has been quiet. He has not been speaking on the political scene. He's been very mute in that regard. Initially, they went against Tambuwal, but Tambuwal has said he's not part of the Northerners that are not supporting Tinubu. He's trying to keep his slate clean. So do you think it's a political witch hunt against these guys, or that indeed the EFCC is doing their job in checking out these guys? They have cases to respond to. They embezzled money. And they're being investigated just like Gordon Emefiele.
The question you ask yourself, people like Adams Shomolu, the senior president, that have done everything. What is EFCC doing about them? If I all of them. So, and the question you ask yourself, these people that EFCC is chasing now, do they commit those things? The answer is, let them answer the whatever they are asking. If they didn't commit it, they'll come out clean. But some of these people that committed these things, are they chasing them? The answer is no. So, it's neither here nor here. He who goes to the equity should go with a clean hands. Somebody like Peter B, that have governed Anambra for 8 good years, if they have found anything, they will have dealt with him. But because they can't find anything, they only do all their propaganda and all the rest of them. So, Chris Ngige, all the rest of them, if you don't commit it, you come out clean. If you commit it, face the music. Whether it's political with hunch or what, did you commit the offense? That's the question. So you must, when you are in power, you must be very careful that people, because most of these people refuse to support Tinubu administration, and you have skeleton in your cupboard, they will use it against you. Like Tinubu himself, we know his certificate saga. After him, somebody who can use it against him. So the issue is that, did you commit this thing? They are telling us that you committed. If the answer is no, go there and answer yourself. You come out clean. But if you have committed, go and suffer it. But those of them that, like Okoya, the former governor of Delta State, senior president, one day, another person will take over and revisit their sins. The answer is that, did you do this? If it is yes, you will suffer the consequences. So if Chris Ngige and all the rest of them committed those offenses, they will suffer the consequences.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would say, for example, that we should expect quite a lot in the politics. There's going to be a lot that will take place. This is December. About 2 weeks to go, we're done with 2025. By 2026, the real drama begins. However, we're going to, at one point in time, discuss tax. It's imperative we understand how 2026 will start. I want to know. Say from my own account, there was just a common money like that. Just like that.
That is, I don't understand.
Hey, God.
Any government that are very insensitive to the suffering of our citizen is a wicked government.
Wait, will they just automatically take money from your accounts?
We don't know what Nigerian government and France is
I would expect that the tax master, the person in charge of the tax reform, Taiwo Oyedele, there needs to be a serious mass tutelage on how this is going to commence, because already there are different speculations, there are different explanations, and it's creating panic. And we don't want panic, because when you start having people withdraw their money, in fact, it's already happening. Some people go to the bank to withdraw their money, but you hear the bank tell you there's no money to withdraw. But I'm sure they'll withdraw for the politicians because
Probably.
this cash will be used for campaign season. So I don't know. Cash is being hoarded right now. So things will get tighter because they will hoard the money. They're going to hoard money very well. They will use it for campaign. Some people are afraid that this whole thing is for the campaign season for Tinubu and his family and whatever, whatever. But well, we need to get the accurate information. Is tax a necessity? Yes. But what have you done with the other taxes that you have been collecting from the people? What a transparent measure have you applied? I mean, they need to see what the tax is being used for. So the people you're taxing, all the taxes you've collected, can you give a breakdown of what you use the taxes to do? Has there been an explanation of how much money you got from tax and that what developmental measures that those tax monies were used for? That's what Nigerians want to know. Do you give a detailed report yearly or monthly that okay, in the month of or quarterly, that this is how much we use on tax and these are the amount of monies that we collected and these are the different sectors that this money was utilized for. There is no accountability, there's no transparency. That's why nobody trusts this new tax system because they feel that the persons who are collecting the money will keep collecting it and it is the ordinary poor Nigerians that are paying for it. The politicians will get richer, they wouldn't be affected. Because most of them, to be honest with you, don't keep monies in banks. They keep monies in septic tanks. The houses they build, then they build, not be true.
Yes.
It's cash they carry about.
It's cash. Dollar. They've changed it to dollar.
They have shop
In their
stores
houses.
where they keep their
Very
money.
strong safe.
Very strong safe. They don't put it in the bank. So who are you? Who will suffer this? That's the
It's
funny
the
thing.
poor masses.
The poor masses will suffer this. Money is being hoarded. These guys don't keep their monies in the bank. They know, or they put it in foreign accounts. So a Nigerian who is in diaspora will send money to their people here, and you withdraw their money. We're going to discuss that. We need to get ourselves properly educated. I want to understand how this works. What amount of money in the bank account, how much in terms of salary payment, how much from a particular account would they deduct the money from? There needs to be a heavy tax education. They need to educate. It's very vital, it's very important. They need to educate how this will go, how it will be implemented, since you're saying from January 1st, 2026, because the way of the information now is scary. And there are talks that this will impoverish Nigerians and maybe even lead to a protest. So let there be a proper education of all of this tax so there is no disinformation and misinformation and false news that creates speculation or panic. And you know how that works. Nobody wants to joke with their money this period. Have yourself an amazing evening. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share. Bye for now.